Hello everyone and welcome back to From the Depths Adventure Mode episode 5 with me as a cargo. How you doing? Anyway, we just passed through a red portal, and the reason I'm in the menu is because I'm going to show you something that you can do here. So I'm going to hop into the adventure mode really quick, and I'm just going to save the vehicle that I'm on right now, and then we're going to pop back over into the designer mode, and we're going to make a retrofit for this. Now, we've got 100,000 resources to play with, roundabouts. Probably a little less than that, probably about 80k. So we're gonna hop into the designer just so that we can make it look pretty. I do a lot of my adventure modes generally improv, all in the adventure, but I want this one to look pretty, so I want to put a little bit more time into making it look nice. And the adventure mode's not so great for that, because things start spawning and then they start shooting at you. So we're over here in the designer. Now what I'm going to do for this retrofit is I'm basically going to make a small series of changes and then save it as a new version. And then what I can do when I go back into the adventure mode is retrofit it in stages so that it doesn't break everything, but it transforms rather quickly. Alright, so I've got these two sub-vehicles that I've spawned in over there. The first one on the right is the uninvited guest, and the other one is just a test for deploying resource buoys automatically. Now, the uninvited guest, I figured it was an apt name for what this craft is and what it does. This is a boarding craft. It's a pretty low-profile thing. It is dragged along by the missiles, so the craft is pretty lightweight, all things considered, and the missiles can literally carry it with their thrust. And they have winches and harpoons on them. So what I can do is I can just kind of drop this in the water, and if opportunity arises, I can use that to board enemy craft, hopefully rather quickly. But yeah, it's basically it operates like a pod racer. So it drags itself alongside behind the missiles, and then it is pulled towards the winches. So it'll be going rams first towards an enemy craft. And yeah, if you don't follow the FTD Reddit subreddit, and you haven't seen those videos, I'll just leave a link to them in the description so that you can go check those out, because I thought the boarding craft one was rather fun. And the other one is just a test to automatically deploy resource buoys. Also, another video to that on the FTD Reddit, so I'll leave that below. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the retrofit. Alright, here we are with the retrofit. Now this is where we left off in the adventure mode. This has some adjustments for internals, setting us up to, basically I just moved the hardstone. That's it. I just moved the hardstone so that we can get rid of the top thing. This is the third stage of the retrofit with docks for uninvited guests. This is the fourth stage of the retrofit with docks for the resource buoys. Got that all set up. This is the fifth stage with the bridge that also protects what's in the docks, as well as an AI and a couple of cannons on the top. And this is the current stage of it. This is as far as I've gotten with it. It's got docks for 6 skaters out on the front. It's got docks for 2 uninvited guests on the sterns of each hull. And it's got docks for 4 of the resource buoys. I also made it a little hydrodynamic. It's got some repair tentacles in the front bits. It can move about 25 meters a second. And I did a whole bunch of ACB stuff. I've downsized the number of repair bots to just this. Might downsize it further, not sure. I don't like having a bajillion repair bots in a craft. I'd rather it like win the fight or die. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, current plans, once we get into the adventure mode, I'm sure we'll talk about it there. And I have so much that I'd like to continue doing on this craft. It's nowhere near finished. It's still very ugly. It's slightly less ugly than like this, but you know, that's not saying much. It's still pretty goddamn ugly. So at least compared to the mosquito, I mean, look at how sexy this thing is. Love me some Skeeter. Anyway, let's hop back over into the adventure mode with this. Alright everyone, Futures of Cargo here. Just gonna do a little bit of a voiceover for this here, not quite timeline, I don't know, this retrofit. So, basically what we're doing is we're we're just going to be keeping a vigilant eye out. I've got it set to about 3 times speed, so I'll slow it down if anything happens. But other than that, we're just kind of watching this thing rebuild itself. We got to keep an eye out for enemies. Now, thankfully, we just went through a portal, so we've got a nice grace period where nothing should spawn, or at least nothing dangerous should spawn. And we're kind of just sitting still. So remember the 2 triggers for stuff to spawn is time spent and distance moved. So, yeah, what is this thing? This thing is adorable. Okay, so something spawned, but it was that thing, and quite frankly, I almost want to keep it as a pet. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could set up a tiny little lambs and actually keep that thing as a pet. Alright, here we are, a couple minutes into the future. This whole retrofit process takes about 5 minutes, but I've gone ahead and spawned in some of the resource buoys just to get our docks full, and I'll spawn in some uninvited guests to get them docked up. And yeah, we might want to get a Skeeter out sooner rather than later. I really don't want to be building one while we're getting shot at. So if we could make that happen, that'd be ideal. But yeah. Oh, we got another thing. What is it? Is it another one? It's another tiny little deepwater guardcraft. I gotta say, those things are adorable, and hats off to the people who can make cosmetic designs like that. I've been trying to get better at making my stuff look cool, and it's hard. It is really hard. It's one thing to get it like the vague shape that you want it, and it's a whole nother thing for it to actually look neat. I really suck at that. Anyway, I'm setting up an ACB over here to spawn Skeeters when I press the button. So we'll go ahead and get one of those loaded and put down some more repair bots, because I just realized those weren't being built. And oh no. Alright, what we got here? Okay, it looks like it's got about 6 cram cannons, and they're not too nasty, but I still don't want to take any hits from them. So, yeah. We'll make sure we get a Skeeter out, and we'll send it over that direction. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Docking bay. Wonderful. Alright. Off it goes. I want to make sure all these resource groups are set up correctly. And yeah, we'll just send it off in that direction. Alright. So, we're starting to take fire. I'm going to take this off of the time lapse, and we're gonna go. Alright, now this one starts off a little bit slowly, so I'm gonna cut out the in-betweens where literally nothing is happening. It's worth noting, we've got a couple of small enemies spawning, and I don't have ammo controllers for these guns. Now, here we had about 4 minutes of footage where I was trying to use this vehicle blueprint spotter, but it doesn't work exactly how I thought it did. So it wasn't actually spawning a new vehicle, it was maintaining the spawn that it had, and that was not what I wanted it to do. So it was just a back and forth of me and UIs, and you really didn't miss much. That being said, this thing has some pretty weak cram cannons, but it's getting pretty close to us. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save here because my player almost got taken out by a cram cannon. I'm gonna back up a little bit. I'm not too afraid of this thing, and once the mosquito gets in range, it's really not gonna be a problem. But yeah, for the time being, it's a little spooky. Let's see, let's get this thing. Now, I really just... I'll just have to test spawn this. I thought I could set it to preserve a whole bunch of spawns, and then I could sit here and just tell it to make new ones until I had it to 6, but that doesn't seem to be working, or at least I haven't got the ACB set up properly. Something to that effect. Not entirely sure which one it is, but oh well. We'll just load them manually. And we'll get them docked as well. And I haven't set up the timing on these ACBs correctly yet, so I'll have to do that at some point after we get these made. But yeah. I also, all the ACBs are currently exposed. I might add another layer of reinforced wood just directly over top this one and raise the deck by a whole meter so that it has some armor. It's probably not a bad idea. Let's see. Put that there. Get that docked. How's this fight going? Seems to be fine. Let's get in the chairs so we don't get killed by any stray cram shots. And doesn't seem to be too many other enemies. This Skeeter's almost done. Go get him, Tiger. And how's this fight going? Okay, this thing has been decimated by the Skeeters. Wonderful. Let's, oh my god. Congratulations, he managed to take out like 5 pieces of rubber and a resource gatherer. That could have been a lot worse if it was like literally 2 meters to the right. It could have taken out a whole lot more. Well, that's fine. That thing's almost dead, so let's spawn another Skeeter, get it docked, and then we'll start heading over there to pick up its resource. Boom, boom, boom. Right. It's got to be said, this thing is not very fast. I made a fair bit of it out of light alloy, and I used some heavy armor to cover up some of the more fragile bits, and then I used lead to counter it. So I feel like all the weight I saved by going for light alloy, I probably ended up adding back on. Which is definitely not ideal. And it's not very heavy. It doesn't have too many internals yet, so it doesn't really need to be sitting very far down in the water. It's pretty inefficient, but there's no real way to fix that now. Let's get some ACBs set up. There's nothing really dangerous shooting at us right now, so let's get these set up to automatically deploy and recall. Constructibles, docking stations, there we go. How about that range? Only 4, a little bit higher. No, higher, no, higher, no, higher. There we go. Okay, recall all assigned vehicles. So, ta-da! Look at them, beautifully docked at varying heights. Alright, and then we'll copy paste over to this one to release all assigned vehicles, and then when we press that button, oh no. Okay, just, oh no! No! No, okay. Okay, I take it back. Okay, 2 of them didn't undock. 2 of them did not. Oh, thank God the weather changed, and it's clear seas for us. Oh, that's so nice. All right, let's get these things docked and undocked and repaired. How many resources we got? Okay, this is 2 really tiny piles. We don't need that. I'm gonna go for the southmost one. Head on over there. Got more things on the radar, but I can't see them on the horizon. So it's probably fine. Just assume it's safe. That's never gone wrong before, right? Alright, let's take little bits of a look. Trying to figure out. It said it was controlling 6, but it only undocked the first 4. So I'm not sure what docking stations it was controlling. Unless maybe that was the other ACB. Yeah, okay. Alright, that explains it. The back two were out of range. I was thinking of the other one. So that first ACB I was messing with said it was controlling 6 blocks. I copy-pasted it to the ACB in front of it, which was just out of range. And so it didn't undock the top two, which is why they crashed and shot each other. Now, I want this ACB, instead of controlling the actual docking stations, to control the ACBs that are next to those docking stations so that I can time release them, so that they go off in an order and are even less likely to crash into one another. Quick check around. Doesn't seem like we're in any immediate danger. Yeah, seems to be safe for now. So let's recall everything, because I want to test this out. Now, you should be able to rename these ACBs, which I've renamed them all to Skeeter Dock, and then I should be able to activate these ACBs remotely, filtering by their name, and then I can put them on a delay, so that when I press a button, these things go off one at a time. But I haven't really done this before, so I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants, and yeah. Right now I'm just looking at these things. So yeah, I think I go back to this ACB, and I think I set it on interaction, and then I set the target to ACBs, and then I should be able to go down here, put in the word Skeeter Dock, and then if I set this range high enough, it should only affect those 6, right? So right now it's set to trigger all ACBs within its range, and technically there's 8 ACBs within its range. So one of them is the ACB that recalls all the vehicles to the dock. So by filtering it out to just the ones with the right name, it should only work on these. So let's get these set up to control docking stations and undock, and then copy paste that to all the others, and then we'll go around and we'll set a 2-second delay from one to the next so that they go off in order, and that should be pretty cool. So the first one in the top right has no delay, and then 2 seconds on the top left, 4 on the middle left, 6 on the middle right, 8 on the right bot, and 10 on the bottom left. And then, if we recall them all, they should assume their formation. And then we can test this out. Oh, that one apparently got wrecked. That's alright, it happens. Okay, so they're all in formation. I did tune their docking so that they can float there safely. Now let's test this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. Easy. Okay, that actually worked really well. And I'm happy with the delay too. Might be able to do it a little bit faster, but that should for sure keep them from crashing into each other. And what is that? Is that a Lightning Hoods freighter? We're saving. We're saving because I should be paying attention to dangerous things, and I want to check out this Lightning Hoods freighter. Oh, that thing looks glorious. Okay, we're rating it. We're rating it. Skeeters, get back in formation. We're going off. We're going to hit that. Alright. We're coming up on about that time in the video. If you did like this video or you want to see more, hit the YouTube buttons. You know what they are. I ain't gonna bother talking about that anymore. I love making these. This has been fun. I've been Zacargo, and I'll see you soon with the next episode from the Depths Adventure Boat aboard the Thousand Sunny. We're gonna finish raiding this Lightning Hoods freighter, and we're gonna try not to die. So yeah, I'll see you soon with the next one.